Today on the American Folklore Project show, we have Anthony with the Stauberd Curse.
So the Stauberd Curse was told by my father to me. Um, Basically, a house he lived in Leesburg, Indiana, when he was younger. It was a very large house. It had a meat locker, a walk-in freezer, and five stoves, five fireplaces. And it was built in competition with the Biltmore houses all around the country. Everybody who ever lived in that house had a misfortune of either death or suicide. And my father reports that his family didn't experience death, but his mother was continuously suffering with pneumonia. His aunt got in a car wreck and was in a coma for 3 months. There was a haunted girl, like a ghost girl, with her cat, and a shadow lady who rocked in her chair and laughed at you every time you came to the room that she sat in. The little girl would come through the walls and stand up atop the stairs. And he said he was going to walk up the stairs, and the girl is holding a bundle of dolls and goes, "Will you play with me?" And the cat would always attack him, the ghost cat. He reports that at one point he was at home with his younger brother and a babysitter, and his mom was at work. And at one point, they hear like weird noises, like drawers are like throwing themselves open, cabinets are opening, and they're getting really freaked out. So they run away and they go to the babysitter's actual home, leaving the house. And when his mother came back from work, she comes home to every single cabinet door open, every single drawer open, every single actual door open. And they had these three German shepherds, and they were locked in the basement behind the door that they didn't have a key from, and neither did any of the previous owners have a key from for at least 40 years. So they have no idea how those three dogs got locked in there. And my dad, he genuinely did think that this was his imagination for a while until when he was older and he had my eldest sister, he talked to his aunt and he talked about this, and she said to him, "You saw her too?"
Just casually, there's a little girl with a cat haunting the stairs, and a grandmother, shadow grandmother.
Yes. The little girl would try to, like, kind of come up to you and be like, "Come play with me," or try to lure you in to play with her. And he said that the cat was always attacking, like swatting at their ankles. And specifically, the grandmother was the evil one. He said she was the one that was really causing the evil. She would always laugh at you when you walk in and taunt you.
And this was um, I, it's interesting because it's just like just like every time they walked in, it's just like she was just there. They didn't really think to do anything.
Oh, to be fair, my family was, or his family was poor, so they when they got a house that big, like a walk-in freezer, a meat locker, five stoves, five
Well,
fireplaces,
well, sure, but I feel like some calling of the police or something.
maybe, but I think they genuinely, I think his mom really passed it off as not real, because the mom only really had that one experience of coming home. Nobody was home, or people were supposed to be home. They had left, and she came back to the drawers and stuff being open. So I would
Right.
assume that she probably just put it up as child's play. And then the same thing as like my dad. Genuinely, he did think it was his imagination. He kind of thought he was like a little silly, little
So
silly kid until he talked to his aunt about it. By the time he had my oldest sister, so
yeah. So it wasn't like a very common occurrence thing. It's just like it happened common enough to be believed to be a thing of imagination.
yeah, I do believe so. And then I also think it always happened mostly when he was alone. And then the one time when it happened and there's multiple people over, it was him and his little brother and a babysitter. So I'm imagining the babysitter is maybe 3, 4 years older than the two of them.
Right.
So imagine his mom hearing three children
It
say,
just
"The house is haunted. The house is haunted."
yeah. It's just funny because it's just like these ghosts couldn't convince your family to kill themselves,
Yeah,
so they just like decided to pop up just like, hey, we're gonna bug you now. It's really
shove your dogs in the basement.
yeah. We
No,
just got
that
open.
was a freaky detail because they didn't have a key to that door. That door has
Yeah,
never been opened the entire time they lived in that house. So they were like, "How the heck did one somebody get in here, put these dogs in here, and two lock it back up?"
that either yeah either that's a ghost or that's a really skilled thief. That
Well, my question is, who owned this house? Because why do you have a walk-in freezer and a meat locker?
I mean, you said this was in which state?
Uh, Indiana,
Yeah, that's a nowhere state. You probably do need that as a form of like preserving, because like civilization would be so far away. So
I
it makes
suppose.
sense on
Yeah,
that front. It when it comes to the nowhere states, they kind of have to.
I was just thinking that's kind of like an odd combination. Like, who else has that other than serial killers?
That was
There's
fair. That was fair.
Staubbaker's
And
curse.
hey, yeah, yeah. I mean, clearly, there's something wrong with the house already. So
I mean, that little girl had to come from somewhere. I'm
yeah,
just saying, and her cat, and then her grandma. We don't know if it was her grandma, but I'm just gonna assume.
yeah. Just presume for through
Yeah, from
contextual
context.
haunting.
Why are
Contextual.
these two paired up?
Yeah.
I think
Dude,
I remember my dad saying, for the most part, the little girl was really nice,
yeah.
and she genuinely just wanted to play. It was the grandma, or like the old lady, whoever she was. She was the evil entity,
Yeah.
and he believes that that girl wasn't really an issue, but she was kind of scary. Like coming home and then just seeing a random girl at the
Yeah.
top of your stairs. Do you want to play? And he's like, "Who are you?"
What did you come from the neighbors a mile up the road?
Right. See, he wasn't always in Leesburg. I know when he talked about living in Warsaw, Indiana, that it was. I mean, people lived a little bit further away, but everybody knew each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the difference was living in Leesburg. Because I know in Indiana, for the most part, his memories, he says everyone knew each other. If someone saw him misbehaving, they knew exactly whose kid he was,
Yeah.
and they would report him to his dad or his mom, etc. So
Low population state
yeah,
kind of lifestyle. Um well yeah, no, that is interesting. I will say is kind of funny hearing the ghost just being so blatant. You know, you don't typically hear that with ghost stories.
yeah,
I will admit.
I don't know that.
But thank you for coming on to the show and sharing your father's spooky experience.
Of course, it was honestly the best story he's ever told. So I'm glad to tell it.
Right on. And that'll do it for this show.